Paul presenting like since the beginning. I was like, who is he talking about? Well, I want to meet this person. Thank you, Paul. Well, I wanted to tell you that I wrote this in our way here in the car, and I want to read this to you. So I wanted to share with you that I'm one of the people that manage some of the social media accounts for Rise Up Chicago. And I have received messages of people showing us the message that they keep getting, telling them not to join Rise Up marches and protests. Some of these accusations that they're sharing with us are saying that we're not inclusive of trans people. Well, and then, there are more accusations, but I just feel that how can that be when we have been warning and denouncing the impact that this decision will have, and is already having, on LGBTQ people, minorities, low-income people, Jews, Black people, immigrants. How can that be when we ourselves at Rise Up are from the LGBT community ourselves? And when we ourselves are immigrants or Black? The people attacking the efforts of Rise Up movement, they don't realize how dangerous the consequences of spreading lies like this has on all of us. Not just us as Rise Up, but all of us. And why? It's because they're attacking without any basis the organization that since January have been out on the streets telling people that this was coming. This reality that we're living in right now, is finally here, and Rise Up has been there from the beginning. Rise Up has been an important force in protesting loudly in the streets against this atrocious decision. And some people criticize that some of our members are affiliated with Revolutionary Club, and I guess that's bad, and they can't explain why that's bad. That they should come and talk to, they're always here with us. Revolution Club is always here with us, supporting. They should come and talk to them and read and find out and educate themselves before spreading all these lies. And they say too something about, Rep Club, they study the writings of Baba Bacon, so this is why I wanted to share this story. Well, the other day, a group of us were talking and someone asked, well, why do you keep saying at the marches and your rallies that the decision from our Supreme Court is illegitimate? Well, someone in the group, they said that, well, the majority of people in the U.S., they support the right to abortion. So how can 5 judges who are against the right to abortion be the ones making this decision then? They can't go against what the majority of Americans want and support.
Illegitimate justice.
And, I agree with that, because what we want is valid. Because what we want, it's just valid what we want, and it's, we're trying to do something good out here. But, let me share this other story. When I was in New York 2 weeks ago, I attended a protest there, and I also, on my free time, attended a discussion about an article written by Baba Bacon, which, I really have never read anything, and I know about him because I heard because of you, but I really never, read anything. And so in that article that the people that were there read, he said, the truth of something does not depend on who says it or how it makes you feel. And because something comes from a source you like, that doesn't make it true. And because something comes from a source you do not like, that doesn't make it untrue. And truth is not a popularity contest. Just because a lot of people believe something, that doesn't make it true. And because only a few people believe something, that doesn't make it untrue. Truth is objective, which means that whether something is true or not depends on whether it corresponds to actual reality. And I really, really think that this job is correct when he says that, because just because the majority of people agree that something's okay, it doesn't mean that's okay. Because in El Salvador, the country where I was born, the majority of people think that abortion should not be legal and that women should be sent to prison for having abortions. Back in March, when I found out that there was a group marching in the streets for legal and safe abortion rights, of course I joined. Yeah, it was RiseUp. And in my speech on the day I joined, I said, people, you need to get on the streets. RiseUp is telling you that women's freedom and the right for abortion is under threat. Women in my country, they're already living the horrors that restrictive abortion laws have on people's lives. In El Salvador, Honduras, Dominican Republic, women are in prison this very moment, serving sentences up to 30 or more years for wanting to stop a pregnancy from rape. Girls who need abortions, impoverished mothers who need abortion, women suffering domestic violence, professional women who want abortions, teenagers afraid to death to tell their parents they got pregnant, like my best friend who at 15 committed suicide because she was pregnant. Women who had stillbirths and women who had miscarriages, they all face years in prison because of the complete ban on abortion in these countries. In El Salvador, women are denied treatments that could save their lives only because it could cause them a miscarriage. And I know that this is a different speech now for me than the one back in March. But we are already living this nightmare and this oppression on women right here in the U.S. I read it every day in the news. So going back to our discussion on this illegitimate decision or not, I asked my friend, well, what makes you think that this decision isn't illegitimate? And they said, well, they have issued this decision with all the right and proper procedures, so doesn't that make it legitimate then? And to this I say, no, this decision is not legitimate, because the Supreme Court's job is to protect our civil rights and our human rights. Their job is to ensure justice. And so when they pass laws that they do not protect us and are the opposite of justice, then that law is illegitimate. When they make laws that hurt us, they're illegitimate. Because they're supposed to protect our rights and not go around taking away our rights. They're supposed to protect us and not put us in danger, so that's why it's illegitimate. Not just because it's the minority, it's because it hurts people.
Yeah, that's right.
We should all be enraged for what they have done to us, for what they have done to us all. You hear me? Because those in power have done this to all of us, even to men. Because men, you tell me, haven't you also benefited from legal abortion? Sarah Taylor and the other founders of RiseUp communicated this the other day. And they said, we urge people to focus their efforts on struggling to reverse this attack on the fundamental right to abortion and not squander precious time and unity fermenting unprincipled attacks on groups and individuals that have been fighting for abortion rights and providing abortion for care for years. So it is urgent that you continue to publicly express your opposition to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. It's urgent that we keep demanding fiercely that nationwide abortion rights be restored now, simply because it is urgent that the rights and the lives of women be respected and protected. Keep coming to organize rallies and marches and join us in the walkouts. Wear your green. Show where you stand. Show your opposition to laws that affect us negatively and put us in danger. And we have seen this, and we take inspiration from women in Latin America, who their rights for abortion and just for being women, their rights are stepped on. But they keep going and they keep marching and they keep taking to the streets in millions, in thousands. And our inspiration, women in Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, they have done it for years. It didn't take one day. It didn't take a month or a year. It took them years. They started out small like we are right now. But the fact that you're here matters. It matters because this woman, where is she? Here, Teodora Vasquez, she's from El Salvador. She was sentenced to 3 years in jail for having a miscarriage, and they said, no, you had an abortion. You wanted an abortion. You go to jail. Well, she was in a meeting with us, with Rise Up for Abortion Rights, and she told us, we asked her, like, how can we help you? How can we all help each other? And she said, keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. Keep marching. Keep showing where you stand, because we are going to put pressure and we're going to disrupt. And this is what has always worked, when civil rights and voting rights were won. They weren't won by waiting for, what's it called in English? Waiting for the voting time. It just happened because people were out on the street doing what you're doing right now. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here.